Hello children, hope you all are fine. You're reading well at home and completing your homeworks in time. Today's topic for the day is resources and development. Today we are going to cover the remaining part of the lesson which we have left from the previous class. So before starting the class, as usual, I want you to get ready with a pen and a notebook to note down the important points while we are going through this important chapter. So get ready soon, children. So the name of the lesson is Resources and Development. Let us see what is in store today in this particular class. We have the land resources. So we live on land and we perform our economic activities on land and we use it in different ways. Thus, land is a natural resource of utmost importance. It supports natural vegetation, wildlife, human life, economic activities, transport and communication systems. However, land is an asset of a finite magnitude. Therefore, it is important to us to use the available land for various purposes with careful planning. India has land under a variety of relief features, namely mountains, plateaus, plains and islands. As you can see in the diagram, about 43% of the land area is plain, which provides facilities for agriculture and industry. Mountains account for 30% of the total surface area of the country and ensure perennial flow of some rivers, provide facilities for tourism and ecological aspects. About 27% of the area of the country is the plateau region. It possesses rich reserves of minerals, fossil fuels and forests. Land resources are used for the following purposes, like forests. Land not available for cultivation is called barren and wasteland. Land sometimes is put to non-agricultural uses like buildings, roads, factories, etc. Other uncultivated land, excluding fallow land, is used as permanent pastures and grazing land. Land under miscellaneous tree crops, groves, which are not included in net zone area. Cultivable wasteland that is left uncultivated for more than 5 agricultural years. Fallow lands, current fallow left without cultivation for 1 or less than 1 agricultural year. Other than current fallow, which is left uncultivated for the past 1 to 5 agricultural years. What is net sown area? Area sown more than once in an agricultural year plus net sown area is known as gross cropped area. So what is the land use pattern or what is land utilization in India? We are going to see now. Forests. In 1960 and 61, it was 18.11% and it increased to 22.57% in the year 2002-2003. You can see there are various land utilization in this particular table. Barren and wasteland, area under non-agricultural uses, permanent pasture and grazing land, tree crops and grasses, cultivable land waste, fallow other than current fallow land, net sown area. So this is the land use pattern in India shown in beautiful charts, pie charts. Okay. So general land use category we are comparing from 1960-61 to 2014 and 2015. Causes of land degradation. So let us see some of the causes of land degradation here. Large scale soil erosion which is caused by running water and wind. That is the main cause. Okay. So we have shared our land with the past generations and we'll have to do so with the future generations too. 95% of our basic needs for food, shelter and clothing are obtained from land. Human activities have not only brought about degradation of land but have also aggravated the pace of natural forces to cause damage to land. At present, there are about 130 million hectares of degraded land in India. Approximately 28% of it belongs to the category of forest degraded area. 56% of its water eroded area and the rest is affected by saline and alkaline deposits. Some human activities, as I told you, such as deforestation, overgrazing, mining and quarrying too have contributed significantly in land degradation. Mining sites are abandoned after excavation work is completely, leaving deep scars and traces of overburdening. In states like Jharkhand, Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh and Odisha, deforestation due to mining has caused severe land degradation. In states like Gujarat, Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh or Maharashtra, overgrazing is one of the main reasons for land degradation. In the states of Punjab, Haryana, Western Uttar Pradesh, over-irrigation is responsible for land degradation due to water logging leading to increase in salinity and alkalinity in the soil. So these are the various reasons for land degradation in different states. The reasons are different from state to state. You have to remember this, children. Okay? The mining processing like grinding of limestone for cement industry and calcite and soapstone for ceramic industry generate huge quantity of dust in the atmosphere. It retards the process of infiltration of water into the soil after it settles down on the land. In recent years, industrial effluents as waste have become a major source of land and water pollution in many parts of our country. There are many ways to solve the problems of land degradation. Afforestation and proper management of grazing can help to some extent. Planting of shelter belts of plants, control on overgrazing, stabilization of sand dunes by growing thorny bushes are some of the methods to check land degradation. Proper management of wastelands, control of mining activities, proper discharge and disposal of industrial effluents and wastes after treatment can reduce land degradation and water degradation in industrial and suburban areas. So these are some of the causes of land degradation which we studied now. Okay. India wasteland in the year 2000. Water eroded area, forest degraded area, saline and alkaline land, wind eroded area. These are the things which you can see in this particular pie chart. Land conservation measures. Let us see what are those. Soil erosion can be prevented by ending deforestation, controlling grazing, encouraging afforestation and practicing terrace farming in hilly areas. Preparation of shelter belts of plants and stabilizing of sand dunes by growing thorny bushes will help to prevent land degradation in deserts. Mining activities should be controlled. New technology which reduces wastage can be adopted. Industrial waste should be chemically treated to remove the harmful substances. Urban waste should be used for the production of biogas and biomanure. Over-irrigation should be stopped and new methods of irrigation should be followed. So these are some of the land conservation measures. Soil as a resource. You might have studied this soil profile in your previous classes from 8th or 7th standards too. But here we are going to see soil, which is the most important renewable natural resource. Look at the diagram for a moment, children. As we know, soil is the most important renewable natural resource. It is the medium of plant growth and supports different types of living organisms on the earth. Thus, the soil is a living system. It takes millions of years to form soil up to a few centimeters in depth. Relief, parent rock or bedrock, climate, vegetation and other forms of life and time are important factors in the formation of soil. Various forces of nature such as change in temperature, actions of running water, wind and glaciers, activities of decomposers etc. contribute to formation of soil. Chemical and organic changes which take place in the soil are equally important. Soil also consists of organic, humus and inorganic materials. On the basis of the factors responsible for soil formation, color, thickness, texture, age, chemical and physical properties, the soils of India can be classified into different types. India has varied relief features, landforms, climate, realms and vegetation types. These have contributed in the development of various types of soils which we are going to see now. So soils can be classified as alluvial, black, red, laterite, arid and forest soils. We are going to study one by one in the coming slides. Alluvial soil. This is the most widely spread and important soil. In fact, the entire northern plains are made of alluvial soil. These have been deposited by the Indus, the Ganga and the Brahmaputra, which we call the big rivers, B-I-G, B for Brahmaputra, I for Indus and G for Ganga in the 9th standard. These soils also extend in Rajasthan and Gujarat through a narrow corridor. Alluvial soil is also found in the eastern coastal plains, particularly the deltas of the Mahanadi, the Godavari, the Krishna and the Kaveri rivers. So some features of alluvial soil are: it is very fertile, it is formed by the deposit, especially sand and silt brought by the rivers. It is found in northern plains, coastal plains, deltas of rivers. Rice, wheat, cotton and oil seeds can be grown in alluvial soil. This soil is rich in potash and lime, but it is deficient in nitrogen. The alluvial soil consists of various proportions of sand, silt and clay, as we can see here. As we move inland towards the river valleys, soil particles appear somewhat bigger in the size. In the upper areas of the river valley, near the break of slope, the soils are coarse. Such soils are more common in Piedmont plains such as Duvars, Taos and Terai region. Apart from the size of their grains or components, soils are also described as on the basis of their age. According to their age, alluvial soil can be classified as old alluvial soil, which is called Bangar, and new alluvial Khadar. The Bangar soil has higher concentration of conker modules than the Khadar. It has more fine particles and is more fertile than the Bangar. So in the examination you may be asked to differentiate between Khadar and Bangar. Alluvial soils as a whole are very fertile. Mostly these soils contain adequate proportion of potash, phosphoric acid and lime, which are ideal for the growth of sugarcane, paddy, wheat and other cereal and pulse crops. Due to its high fertility, regions of alluvial soils are intensively cultivated and densely populated. Soils in the drier areas are more alkaline and can be productive after proper treatment and irrigation. So this is about alluvial soil. Just take a look at this particular chart, children. Yeah. Next comes black soil. These soils are black in color and are also known as regular soils. Black soil is ideal for growing cotton and is also known as black cotton soil. So, black soil is also called as black cotton soil. It is believed that climatic condition along with the parent rock material are the important factors for the formation of black soil. This type of soil is typical of the Deccan Trap, which is called a basalt region spread over northwest Deccan Plateau and is made up of lava flows. These cover the plateaus of Maharashtra and Saurashtra, Malwa, Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh and extend in the southeast direction along the Godavari and the Krishna valleys. The black soils are made up of extremely fine, that is clay material. They are well known for their capacity to hold moisture. In addition, they are rich in soil nutrients such as calcium carbonate, magnesium, potassium, and lime. These soils are generally poor in phosphoric contents. They develop deep cracks during hot weather, which helps in the proper aeration of the soil. These soils are sticky when wet and difficult to work on unless tilled immediately after the first shower or during the pre-monsoon period. So let us see some features of the black soil which is there in the chart now. So black soil is black in color. It's known as regular soil, cotton soil or lava soil. It's made up of lava flow breaking down of igneous rocks. It is found in Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Godavari and Krishna valleys. Good capacity to hold moisture, rich in calcium carbonate, potash, lime. It is deficient in phosphoric content, cracks when dry, sticky when wet. So these are some of the features or characteristics of black soil. Just take a look at the chart, children, for 1 minute. So red and yellow soils. Red soil develops on crystalline igneous rocks in areas of low rainfall in the eastern and southern parts of the Deccan Plateau. Yellow and red soils are also found in parts of Odisha, Chhattisgarh, southern parts of the Middle Ganga plain and along the Piedmont zone of the Western Ghats. These soils develop a reddish color due to diffusion of iron in crystalline and metamorphic rocks. It looks yellow when it occurs in hydrated form. The characteristics are, it is porous, found in eastern and southern plateau of Deccan Plateau, formed by denudation of igneous and metamorphic rocks. Rice, pulse, sugarcane can be grown here. Rich in iron, deficient in nitrogen, humus and lime. Laterite soil. What are these? Laterite soil has been derived from the Latin word later, which means brick. The laterite soil develops in areas with high temperature and heavy rainfall. This is the result of intense leaching due to heavy rain. Humus content of the soil is low because most of the microorganisms, particularly the decomposers like bacteria, get destroyed due to high temperature. Laterite soils are suitable for cultivation with adequate doses of manures and fertilizers. These soils are mainly found in Karnataka, Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Madhya Pradesh and hilly areas of Odisha and Assam. After adopting appropriate and conservation techniques, particularly in the hilly areas of Karnataka, Kerala and Tamil Nadu, this soil is very useful for growing tea and cotton. tea and coffee. Red laterite soils in Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh and Kerala are more suitable for crops like cashew nut. So the characteristics are: laterite soil is acidic porous, leaching by heavy rainfall, found in Western Ghats, especially Shillong. Coffee, rubber and cashew are grown in laterite soil, rich in iron, deficient in lime and potash. You can look at the chart for 15 seconds, children. Next comes arid soils. Arid soils range from red to brown in color. They are generally sandy in texture and saline in nature. In some areas, the salt content is very high and common salt is obtained from evaporating the water. With the dry climatic high temperature, evaporation is faster and the soil lacks humus and moisture. The lower horizons of the soil are occupied by kankar because of the increased calcium content downwards. The kankar layer formations in the bottom horizons restrict the infiltration of water. After proper irrigation, these soils become cultivable, as has been the case of western Rajasthan. The characteristics are: this is found by weathering of rocks, rich in salt, deficient in humus. Dates, melons, bajra are grown here. This is found especially in Rajasthan, Punjab and Gujarat. Forest soils. These are found in hilly and mountainous regions. They are loamy and silty in valleys and coarse in the upper slopes. In Himalayas, they suffer denudation and are acidic with low humus content. The soils found in the lower slopes of valley are fertile. So, from the examination point of view, this is very important, children. Please look at this particular map which is there in the textbook too. Okay? Soil erosion. Let us see what is it. Okay? The denudation of the soil cover and subsequent washing down is described as soil erosion. Look at the chart, children. The process of soil formation and erosion go on simultaneously, and generally there is a balance between the two. Sometimes this particular balance is disturbed by many activities of human beings or sometimes by nature, like deforestation, overgrazing, construction and mining, which while natural forces like wind, glacier and water lead to soil erosion. The running water cuts through the clayey soils and makes deep channels as gullies. The land becomes until for cultivation and is known as bad land. It becomes unfit actually. So the land becomes unfit for cultivation and is known as bad land. In the Chambal basin, such lands are called ravines. Sometimes water flows as a sheet over large areas down a slope. In such cases, the topsoil is washed away. This is known as sheet erosion. This has come many times in the exam, sheet erosion. Okay. Wind blows loose soil off flat or sloping land known as wind erosion. Soil erosion is also caused due to defective methods of farming. Ploughing in a wrong way, that is up and down the slope, form channels for the quick flow of water leading to soil erosion. Ploughing along the counter lines can decelerate the flow of water down the slopes. This is called counter ploughing. Steps can be cut out on the slopes, making terraces. Terrace cultivation actually restricts erosion. Western and central Himalayas have well-developed terrace farming. Large fields can be divided into strips. Strips of grass are left to grow between the crops. This breaks up the force of the wind. This method is known as strip cropping. This is also important from the examination point of view because they ask these questions. What is strip cropping? Clear? Strips of grasses are left to grow between crops. This breaks up the force of the wind, is known as strip cropping, as I told you. Planting lines of trees to create shelter also works in a similar way. Rows of such trees are called shelter belts. These shelter belts have contributed significantly to the stabilization of sand dunes and in establishing the desert in the western hills. So, we have seen what is soil erosion, and we are going to see some methods of soil conservation here. As I told you, so contour ploughing, terrace farming, strip cropping, planting shelter belts are some of the better methods by which we can actually conserve soil. So with this we actually come to the end of this particular lesson, children, and I have 10 questions as home assignment for you. Hope you are reading well at home. Do complete your homeworks in time, children. Be safe. Thank you, children.